First of all, I offer my most respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Diksha Guru, Om Vishnupad. Asto Tarasata Shishmat, Srila Gaur-Govinda Goswami Maharaj. Again, I offer my most respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Sannyas and Shiksha Guru, Om Vishnupad. Asto Tarasata Shishmat, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. I offer my most respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Param Guru Devs, Nitya Leela Pavishtam Vishnu Parasto Tarasata Shishmat, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Nitya Leela Pavishtam Vishnu Parasto Tarasata Shishmat, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kesha Goswami Maharaj. Offer my most respectful obeisances unto all Vaishnavas, headed by Bhakta Bandhav Rasikananda
Yes.
Maharaj, Bhakta Bandhav Jagmohan Maharaj, and all Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, Sannyasi Maharaj. Where's Sannyasi Maharaj?
He's in Manasi Seva.
Okay. And especially Gopanandini, my god auntie. So, the topic is the glories of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. Just now, Pujapad Bhakti Vibhu Bodhaya Maharaj, he's conducting his tour, spreading the glories of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada, 150th anniversary. And it's been explained how the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yuga Dhamma Pavaitaimu Nama Sankirtan, you know what? Charibhav Bhakti Diya Nachamu Bhavan. That he's come and he's bringing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's bringing Harinam Sankirtan, but a special flavor of Harinam Sankirtan. The Harinam Sankirtan which is imbued with the mood of the Brijbasis of Vrindavan. Charibhav, that the whole world will dance in these moods of Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. But Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has specifically stated, Anapita Chirim Chirat Karunaya Vitana Kalo Samapaitam Unoto Jwala Rasa Swa Bhakti Sriyam. Samapaitam Unoto Jwala Rasa Swa Bhakti Sriyam. That specifically Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he has come himself to taste the moods of Srimati Radharani. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Krishna, he is witnessing the different moods of Radharani and specifically the Madanakya Mahabhav of Srimati Radharani. And in this context, Krishna, he becomes so astounded by the love of Srimati Radhika, that they're together, they're embracing, they're in a very intimate situation. And Sudipta Asta Sadvik Bhavs manifest from Srimati Radharani. Tears are flowing from her eyes, her mouth, she's chattering, her body, complexion is changing, goosebumps are coming up, fully 8 Astasadvik Bhavs, and she's with him, but she's speaking in a way that's completely incoherent to Krishna. She's speaking about separation mood, speaking about meeting, and thousands of things are coming, and Krishna, he becomes completely amazed that he's with Radharani, so he's feeling this ecstatic mood of Srimati Radharani, but he can't understand it. Madanakya Mahabhav. So Krishna, he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to taste that. But Samaparitam Unota Ujwala Rasa Swa Bhakti Sriyam. That at the same time, he's come to give the beauty of that love. Bhakti Sriyam. That those Sakis who are very near and dear to Srimati Radharani, though independently they do not taste this Madanakya Mahabhav, But by close proximity and being very tadatmic with Srimati Radhika, then they're also feeling these same emotions of Srimati Radharani. And they're feeling it from the mood of Dasi. There's a difference. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, that he is that manifestation of mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that's come to bestow upon the living entities in this world that Unnata Jwala Rasa Swabhakti Sriyam, the beauty of that love of Srimati Radharani. Very, 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 so exalted. So exalted. That there's nothing more than this. And he is, as Maharaja said, Nayan Mani Manjari. He is the twinkle in the eye of Srimati Radharani. That when Srimati Radharani, we're singing every morning, Shubha Dristi Koro Ebe, Jagatera Prati, Jagukari Doye Mora, Sumangala Rati, Shubha Dristi Koro Ebe. What's the meaning of that?
Your auspicious glance.
Your auspicious glance. Shubha Dristi Koro Ebe, Jagukari. That by this auspicious glance you wake up the sleeping souls, is it? So that very, very auspicious glance of Srimati Radhika, when taking a form, is Nayan Mani Manjari. Very, very special aspect, manifestation of Srimati Radharani's mercy and quality. And when Nayan Mani Manjari, she appears in Gaur Lila, then she takes the form of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur Srila Prabhupada. So, when that glance of Srimati Radharani comes in the form of Srila Prabhupada to bestow mercy on the fallen conditioned souls of this world, who can escape? Who can escape it? It's too sweet, too powerful, imbued with the mellows of the moods of Srimati Radhika. This is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, he came not by himself, but he came with his associates. Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, that these prominent personalities that we know in the West, our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, also Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. And they're assisting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada in spreading this, what's the verse you quoted? Prem Ras Niyash Korite Yashodan Rag Mag Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharan. In spreading this Rag Mag Bhakti. But just as Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada had to cut down so many jungles, and to his satisfaction, that beauty of the love of Srimati Radharani, he felt that he was not able to give it to his full satisfaction. And so he preached in a particular way because of the time, place, and circumstance of so many apasidantic elements that were there, and he was cutting these jungles away, cutting away these weeds, uprooting. So that mood of Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada in that preaching, then it also manifested down through his Guru-Parampara, through his line, his disciplic succession. Though internally, the cultivation of service to Srimati Radharani, Radha Dasyam, is very prominent within his line, but it's kept very secret. So, in the Western world, we have Bhaktivedanta Swami, or Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And he came, and also he is cutting down the jungles of people taking LSD, marijuana, all types of bogus philosophies, and establishing that we're not this body, that we're spirit soul. But within his Bhaktivedanta purports, he has also presented all of these realizations of our Rupanuga Guru Varga. Everything is there. But he has presented in such a way that only those who have access through Sadhu Sangha will be able to enter and swim. And those who are very expert, they'll be able to drown in his Bhaktivedanta purports, which are full of the glories of the love of Srimati Radharani and service to Srimati Radharani. It's all there in the purpose of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My Diksha Guru, Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, he was very adamant to explain that the highest realizations of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, which are the highest realizations of spiritual paths, that it's all there within the purports, the Bhaktivedanta purports of Srila Prabhupada. But that one has to have proper sadhu sangha to be able to go in and access that. And he was blocked, actually. I should have spoke all this in the park. Maybe not appropriate. So he was blocked, actually. He was blocked by his own God brothers to glorify our Guru-Parampara, to glorify Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, to glorify Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to glorify Srila Rupa Goswami. Because their glories is not just Nam Prachar, but what is the quality of the Nam Prachar? What is it that is within that Nam Prachar that they're giving? What is the depth of the gift that they're giving? Not just the breadth and the length and the height, but what is the depth, that Radha Dasyam? They were not ready. They were not ready to take. Then, coming in the same line, is our Gurudev. I say our Gurudev. He's my Shiksha Guru, but as Maharaj has explained, that there's this speciality of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, that he has taken disciples from so many different places, and he has given them love and affection without discrimination. Who is Diksha Guru, who's Shiksha Guru, who's Diksha disciple, who's Shiksha disciple. So similarly, we're bound to reciprocate that love in the same way without giving discrimination. So he came and he said from the very beginning, Srila Gurudev said, meaning Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj, he said from the very beginning, I was very careful that I did not want to be so much distracted by cutting down the jungles, but really I wanted to delve into and present that essence of what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give. And so we see that in his life, he was always very prominent in the Gaudiya Math as that person who would speak on these very esoteric topics of Vraj Bhakti, of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, whereas it wasn't really spoken, and even now is not really spoken in the Gaudiya Math. But he was exception to the rule. He was the exception. And it wasn't always appreciated, to be quite honest with you. Maybe even now it's not appreciated, I don't know. But Srila Gurudev was so empowered by Srimati Radharani that he himself, living in Mathura and in Vraj and doing bhajan and submerging himself in the teachings of Rupa and Raghunath, and becoming one with those teachings. He's showing us that this is our path. That yes, we have temples, and we do temple construction, and we build, and we do prachar, we preach. But what is really following Rup Raghunath? That is there, but also following their conceptions. Following their conceptions and living their conceptions, practicing step by step. This is really following Rup Raghunath. One person may be very absorbed in preaching, doing the prachar, and going and making so many devotees and bringing them and get initiated, etc. And another devotee may not be so much absorbed in all that prachar, but internally they're crying for Rup Raghunath. They're crying for Rup Manjari to serve, to have the ability to serve Rati Manjari, and they're doing bhajan. Who really is following Rup Raghunath? Huh? Who's following?
Yeah.
Which one's really following?
The ones who do both. Right?
The one who does both. Very good. The one who does both. But even if somebody doesn't do both, if they're staying in Vrindavan and they're absorbed in their bhajan, they're not following Rup Raghunath? They're following. 100%. But our line is specific. That we're to do both. Our line. So we follow our line. You understand? But not that, hey, somebody is not traveling and then they're not following Rup Raghunath. No, come on. What is that? This is another kind of sectarian BS. I'm being recorded, huh?
Yes.
I'm from the Bronx, what can I say? So, Srila Gurudev, he put himself out on the limb by stressing, not just, he gave his life in traveling and preaching, traveling the globe in some 13 years, 26 times. He gave his life. But also at the same time, he showed that we should be absorbed internally in these moods of Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Not just talking about it, but living it, practicing it, being it. This is specialty of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. He is the manifestation of the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he set the wheels in motion, sending devotees to the West, and also himself preaching. But in his life, he also would manifest these moods of Nayan Mani Manjari. He would manifest these moods. In his last days, I can't remember the verse because I haven't learned it, but there's a verse from Raghunath Das Goswami. These books was Stav Vilas, Vraj Vilas Stava. And there, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is recounting how Srimati Radharani is speaking very incoherently, in a way that there appears to be no rhyme or reason, but actually there's total rhyme or reason, but it's a manifestation of a Madhanakya Mahabhav. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada was quoting these verses of rolling his inner moods were manifesting. See? So those inner moods of Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada that were not manifesting so freely, then they manifested through the personage of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. Very, very special we're in such a special line that you go to Vrindavan and all the bridge buses, you say, oh, I'm in the line of Srila Narayana Maharaj. Oh. All respect, because they know. You go to the Babaji Sampradayas, and then say, oh, don't go to Babaji Sampradaya. Everything's not black and white. Everything's not black and white. Huh? Shouldn't be so sectarian. And those who are following very nicely, and they are, who are following very nicely, very, very nicely, that you mention Gurudev's name, oh, pranam. They accept him like Shiksha Guru. This is Bhagavad-Parampara. Self-effulgent. His position is self-effulgent. It doesn't have to be propagated. It's by those who know, they know. But it is our duty, actually, my duty, to really preach and preserve these conceptions of our Guru Vaga, which is coming down from Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj. He said that if I don't preach these conceptions, that people are coming at me and criticizing, he said these conceptions, they can be lost. Because Srila Gurudev was not only very, very sedantic and very precise, but at the same time he was very rasik. Both qualities were there. And he very systematically presented the teachings of Rupa Raghunath exactly in the line of Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Goswami, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, like that, and it's come through us. So that just like the books of Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, they're the law books for the next, 10,000 years? In the same way, for those who want to unlock, Gurudev would say that the purports of Prabhupada, that everything is there, but it's under lock and key. But those who want to unlock, then they'll go into the teachings of Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. One time I was doing parikrama, and then there was one devotee, he was doing parikrama, I see him doing parikrama. Then I start, so you speak English? Yeah, I speak English. So then I said, so who's your guru? He says, yes, I'm following Vinod Bihari Baba. So very nice, very nice. And then I said, yeah, I took sannyas from Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj. He said, oh, I'm reading his book. Right now I'm reading Brihad Bhagavatamrita. This Baba, he does 2 times parikram every day. He said, I'm reading Brihad Bhagavatamrita. I said, really? He said, yeah. If you want to know these topics, then you have to go through somebody like Srila Narayana Maharaj. You understand? Those who really want to go deeply, then they understand what is the glory of Srila Gurudev. So, to represent, then we should follow his teachings, as Maharaj is doing very nicely, presenting, and we should practice. And then preach. And then preach. Apani na kole dama sikana na yoy, eta siganta gita bhagavate goy. That one who speaks, but they're not practicing, eta siddhanta gita bhagavate, that then it will not have any real effect, and it will not really be a presentation of our Guru-Parampara. Gurudev, he was very expert in his practice, and he was so expert in his preaching. He used to say, I'm just a dry piece of wood. I'm a dry piece of wood. But just by mercy of Harinam and serving so many sadhus, then something is coming through. You understand? So we follow in that line. We follow in that line. And be very, very strong in preserving that line coming down through Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Very, very strong. It depends on us. Actually, it depends on us. So now, you really absorb yourself in understanding his teachings, his life, his precepts, and become one with him. Develop that intimate relationship, that father-son relationship. One time, Gurudev was asking me, he said, so, who's your father? I said, oh, my father's passed away, he's from Nigeria, he's this, that. He said, you failed, I'm your father. You understand? We developed this mood with Gurudev. Internal mood that cannot be broken. That cannot be broken. And then anybody comes to make any kind of offense to that, then you act like fire. But we should be able to also appreciate that as we're developing our mood towards our guru, that other devotees, they also have their gurus. And they also have their mood and their relationship. And we should be broad-minded enough to accept that. And understand that they're not going to see Gurudev in the same way that we see Gurudev. Okay? They're not. They're not. And we should be able to, but by our deep commitment and our prachar, then we should be able to affect them. If there's some kind of not so good feeling which is there. I don't know. I'm a recluse. I don't really mess around. I stick my head out and I say, oh my God, let me put my head back in. Let me stay away from all this. So my half hour probably is up. I'll have some more time to speak, right? About more personal.
Every day.
Okay, so this is just like an introduction.
We'll have.
Okay, Vanchakalpa Trubhischa Kripa Sambhivcha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo.